The Old Sweet Springs Resort has been around since we were part of the mothership, the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's in Monroe County. It's gone through a long history. It was built in the 1700s. It was opened as a health resort in the 1830s. The state purchased it in 1941, turned it into a hospital. It was a nursing home from 1941 to 1995. You got a big old brick building, historic brick building on the site. There's also 5 cottages that are on the site. Well, we've gotten to the point, which sometimes happens, that it's going to be sold at a public auction in approximately 1/2 hour. Joe R. Pyle Auctions is handling the auction at 11 o'clock today. Jared Shinn is Director of Marketing Operations for Joe R. Pyle. He joins us on Metro News Talkline. Jared, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Hoppy. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So give us more about this place. I mean, I gave a brief history, but there's a lot of history here to this place, is there not?
It's pretty incredible. Most people around the state aren't even aware of the existence of the Old Sweet Springs Resort, and I have to admit I was one of them. It's a pretty incredible property, and there's even historical evidence that it was designed, in fact, by Thomas Jefferson.
Do we know that, or is that the rumor?
Well, it's one of those historical mysteries. There is some circumstantial evidence that leads to the conclusion that he played a role in the design, but there's no concrete proof.
Okay. How long has it been abandoned?
It's been empty for approximately 20 years since the former nursing home closed.
Mm-hmm. And we know what happened. So who owns it now?
Well, it's a little bit hazy at this point. The former owner of the water bottling plant that's also on the facility passed away, and it's been in kind of limbo for the past approximately 2 years. We're working today on behalf of the substitute trustee to sell the property.
Okay. So how's this work today at 11 o'clock?
Well, we've had folks on site since about 8 o'clock this morning. We've opened the resort, all the buildings, the guest homes, the old bathhouse up for inspection, and we've had it opened again since 8 o'clock this morning. And in approximately about 25 minutes, we'll gather together, read the terms of the auction, and interested parties will put their hand in the air to bid on the property.
Okay. Talking to us this morning, Jared Shinn. He's Director of Marketing and Operations for Joe R. Pyle Auctions. They're going to auction off the, what do we call it, historic, famous, often neglected Sweet Springs Resort in Monroe County.
All of the above. It was certainly famous in its day in the 19th century. Its popularity has certainly declined, but it definitely had its day.
During its heyday, was it because of the waters there? Was it one of those places where people went to take the waters?
That's exactly correct. The bathhouse is known for its spring, which remains a consistent 72 degrees year-round. And it was believed, and still believed, that the waters have a medicinal quality to them. Many famous folks in history have visited the spring, including Queen Victoria.
Really?
That's correct, yeah.
Wow. So what kind of shape is the main building in?
Remarkably, for its age, the structure itself is very sound. Of course, the interior, been abandoned for 20 years, needs quite a bit of updating, remodeling, but the structure itself is very sound.
And is there a minimum bid today?
There is not a set minimum bid, no.
Really? So have you heard anecdotally of who has expressed interest, not individuals, but does somebody want it, or does some entity, or does somebody want it to turn it into restore it as a resort, or to tear it down and use the bricks, or to do what with it? What have you heard?
Now, thankfully, most of the interest we have has not been in demolishing the property. From a personal level, I'd hate to see that happen. The interest has been really widespread because in addition to the resort itself, there's also the modern water bottling plant, which includes all the equipment needed to produce water and the water rights convey. So there's been interest from entities wanting to resurrect the water bottling operation. There's been interest from people wanting to turn it back into a resort and restore it to its former glory. And a lot of interest from folks wanting to turn it into a nursing home or even a rehab facility. It's been really widespread interest.
I hate to say this, but I didn't know about it. And I've been in West Virginia all my life, covered news every day. I did not know about it. Somehow that got past me. And I don't know why.
You're not alone in that, Hoppy. Most of the people we've talked to that are very involved, even in the historical side of the state, didn't realize this resort still existed or even existed ever.
Mm-hmm. Is there any appraisal value?
None that we were given, no. It's almost impossible to pull any kind of comparable to this property. It's so unique.
Yeah, yeah. All right, 11 o'clock today, the auction for the old Sweet Springs Resort in Monroe County, the original building there. That's the original building, right?
It is the original building, that's correct, along with the 5 guest homes and a couple of other original structures.
Yeah, and as well as the water bottling facility, right?
That's correct.
How many acres there?
Approximately 23.
23 acres. Okay. All right, we look forward with interest to see what happens today with that here. Thank you for coming on. Good luck with that auction today.
Thank you, Hoppy.
All right, man. I thought I would, something that historically significant or something that's been around, wow, I would know that. But I did not. I did not know that.